Welcome, everybody. We are back. Muse by Muse. It's one of our special segments where we talk to the filmmakers doing the film festival circuits and getting their movies into award season as we're getting started. We're talking to the creator of Mildred for a Million, Kimmie Callaway, and we have the amazing, the talented, been a legend in this industry, Marla Gibbs. What This film is so good, and I've had so much fun watching it. Where did the idea come from, Kimmie, about this movie and to bring this out?
Thank you so much for saying that, and it makes me so happy to hear that you enjoyed it and people seem to be connecting with it. It came out of I have a real life Mildred in my life who's 93 years old, and she lives in Houston, Texas, and I have a 3 and a 5-year old who aren't on tablets yet, but they are that Gen Alpha generation that you just see. I mean, as a 43-year-old, I'm often buried in my phone. More and more these days, we're just distracted. We're not in the moment. And so it was just, and it was a love letter to her. Still she doesn't do any of that. She's in the moment. She is there for company and so excited to see everybody and not looking down or away. And uh, yeah, it's a love letter to her and the old ways of doing things before cell phones took over our lives.
And Marla, you do such a great role in this short film. I wanted more. I wanted to see what else could come from this. And I know it's a short film, but it's I the story just expands so much and you do so much for this role. What was it like to become Mildred for this movie?
Well, it was marvelous. I really enjoyed it. And being a great grandma myself, I really understood it.
Mhm. Yeah, and I love like doing being on your scoot, going around town, going off road. That was the one thing that I just loved. Like it was, you really did so much work into this, and I loved it. You did an amazing job, Marla. I cannot say enough on how
She
much
did
fun this was.
every scene, every single scene,
Mhm.
her.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, sheesh, I mean, growing up with you, I know the work that you could do. And I see it now and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. I truly enjoy it. Kimmie, when you're doing, I mean, you're playing for a week at NoHo right now to get eligible for the Academy Awards. What?
Actually, so we premiered at the NoHo Lamley,
Oh,
but now this whole week it's going to be at the Lamley Royal. So
oh,
on the west side, like the 405 in Santa Monica.
awesome, awesome. Yes, we got to get people out there because this needs to get into that Oscar contention race. When you're doing this and you're trying to, I mean, we've talked to and we've worked with a lot of short film directors, and sometimes it's hard to get into theaters and stuff. But what has it been like for you to through this process to get the film into theaters, to get people to watch it, so that you could get nominated or even be seen for what's coming up this fall?
Well, I've been interfacing with this wonderful man, Gregory Gardner, from Double Exposure, who is just instrumental in helping a lot of short films and just feature films, any films get seen. So he helped me place the film in theaters, and we had a couple different options. He's like, you could do this festival. They have a festival called Shorts by the Sea. He's like, but you wouldn't, you'd be in a slot with all these other films and you wouldn't get to do special stuff with Marla and but he's like, I would have as much fun as you can with Marla. He's a huge Marla fan. So, and so I was like, let's do it. Let's do a premiere. Let's do a 7-day, I know we can sell tickets, and we did. Last night was a packed house. It was incredible. So, and it was just all organic. I mean, I don't have a social media presence. She has, I mean, she's famous. So she,
He has a presence beyond social media.
but it was cast and crew, and then a ton of people just out to just support her, just all of her friends through the years and admirers. And yeah, we packed, it was 220 seats, and it was an amazing night.
Yeah. And what was it about Marla to play Mildred? Well, for you, what was it about for you to have her play this role?
What made her want to play it?
Well, what was your choice to have Marla
Oh,
part of it?
okay. So,
And for Marla, why would you want to play it? And so let's start with Kimmie first.
Well, because I'm a real Gigi,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand Gigi so well
Mm-hmm.
because I am one.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Gigi's is the children always they get close to the grandmother, but they don't get close to the great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And the great grandmother feels like she's in competition all the time with the grandmother because the grandmother is showing her how to cook. You don't get to show her how to cook because grandma's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things we miss being the great grandmother.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking about that and trying to do that with my own great grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
She's right up under my daughter. So she said, well, grandmother, we're going to make a date and we're going to do this. She's so popular, she'll never get to me.
And Kimmie, what was it about Marla that you wanted her to play this role?
so when I think of my grandma Mildred, I think of she loves her family more than anything else.
Mhm.
She's totally classy and timeless and still, takes care of herself, gets dressed up to go to the grocery store, makes special, everyday special. And I grew up watching Marla on TV, and I honestly, she wasn't my first immediate thought. I didn't really have immediate thoughts. I started Googling like actresses in this age range. And as soon as she popped up, I was like, oh my God, this would be such a great choice because I knew she is like a comedy genius, but I know she has so much depth to her, which is also so important for, like their, it's poignant as well and has pathos as, with the humor. Um, so I was like, oh, and I saw an article that she's still working, wants to work, and then once we talked, I was like, oh my God, I just can't imagine anyone else playing that role. She's just, wow.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
get I understand it completely because it reminded me of my grandma so much. And I kind of brought back the memories of my grandma, the connection we had and the way she was. She was the same way. She was a flapper in the 1920s, man. When she was getting older, she was still going out dancing every week, still going until she hurt her hip and lived life to the very last day. And that's what it reminded me of so much. And it's so great to see in the screen. We don't see it that much, but we've seen it so far this year with a bunch of different movies where we're seeing a different take on a story where it's a lot older co-stars. And it's great. It's refreshing to see these stories starting to be told now because I don't things don't end once you hit 50. There's another realm and another generation there. So that's what now that I'm getting close to 50, I'm saying that.
Hey, Marla, in our first meeting, Marla really encouraged me because I had no idea that she was 44 when she started playing Florence. I was like, are you kidding me? And obviously, she had a great career before and lived life before that. But I was like, oh, I'm 43, so there's hope.
And I agree with you because I said, as I'm getting closer to 50 next year, I'm like, okay, cool. There's still hope. There's still hope that something can
That's
happen.
why I'm 30 because I don't get close to 40 or 50.
Exactly. Exactly. But before we get closing up with this interview, Marla, I have to ask you, you have had such an amazing career. You still have an amazing career. What are some words of wisdom for some of us who sometimes you feel like we want to give up, we want to slow down, but there's still opportunities and still things out there, but you got to get that veracity to keep
No
going.
other time but today.
Mhm.
Today is the only day we have. And we think about, we're always trying to get into tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that. But part of my song is you cannot borrow from tomorrow.
Mhm.
We only get one day. That's today.
Yep.
So you need to think about what can you do today.
Mhm.
to help whatever it is you want to do. What can you be doing today to facilitate that? That's really what you want to say.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Great words of wisdom, Marla. I can't say thank you enough. Me and my sister grew up watching you on television from the
And because you,
Jeffersons to 7.
and because you did, I am. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Because the whole reason why we wanted to be in this industry was because of shows like yours. And it's really nice to talk to you. It's an honor for me, especially growing up watching television as a kid.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And Kimmie, thank you so much for stopping with us. Really appreciate it. You did such a great film, and it's going to touch a lot of our hearts, especially when with who had great connections, especially with people who had great connections with their grandma. I think it's going to relive a lot of memories and relived it for us. So I really appreciate it for making this film. One more time before we let you go, where can people see it this week?
So 7 days starting today at the Royal Lamley on the west side, Royal Lamley Theater. It's like Santa Monica and the 405. And 3:10 every day. 3:10 p.m. every day, Royal Lamley West Side Theater.
Great. So after we make sure we want to get people out because they have to see this movie. And of course, you can see it on TV, but it ain't the same. You got to see it in the big screen. You got to see it in a movie theater.
You can't see it on TV unless somebody picks it up. So Netflix, Disney Plus, whoever.
You never know.
Pay us for it, then you can see it on TV.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Wish you all the best for this film, and I hope you get some recognition for next year's Oscar season.
Thank you so much, Michael.
You have a wonderful day as well.
Thank you. Thank you.